Okay, this is going to be a really quick demo. I'm going to show you how to take a stock image and add some overlays to that image to make it look like this. So here's how we're going to start out. We're going to start out with a blank image that I got during a Google search. And this is just an Indian vintage gas tank plane. I removed there was an Indian logo here. I removed that. We're going to use two other images also. I created an image of just Indian headdresses. This is just an Indian logo that I put into a grid. So we're going to use that. Plus I'm going to use the Chapter 2012 logo that we have here. And then we're going to make it look like this. Okay. So let's go back to the original image. And what I'll do is I'll go and I'll take a copy of the Indian logo grid. So I'm just going to say edit, copy the merged image, paste it into our stock photo here of the gas tank, and then I'm just going to scale it a bit so it'll fit over the gas tank. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make it so that it's big enough that it covers the entire tank. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. So I'm covering the tank. All right, I'll just click the checkbox, and then what I'm going to do, again, for those familiar with Photoshop, I'm working on this layer here that says layer 12, and I'm going to add a layer mask. Again, if you're not familiar with Photoshop, I'll have to explain layer masks another time, but I'm going to add a layer mask. Very briefly, what that layer mask means is that anything that's in white will show whatever's on the image. Anything that's in black will show nothing of that image. Basically, it'll block the image. So here's what I mean. So everything is white right here on the layer mask, which means that everything in the image will be shown. And you can see over here, the entire image is shown. If I took the inverse of that and I made the layer mask black, you'll see none of the image is shown. So whatever is black is hidden, whatever is white is not. Again, a little bit of a tough concept if you're new to Photoshop, but here's how it'll work. So basically, the image will always be available. It's just, what do I want to show of that image? Right now, 100% of the image is being shown. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come over and I'm going to switch. If you look over here on the left, the primary color, let me just make the screen a little bit bigger. The primary color is white. The background color is black. I'm going to switch that so that the primary color is black and the secondary color is white. I'm going to grab the paintbrush tool and I'm going to start painting with black on the layer mask. Now remember, black will hide, white will show. Okay, so now if I'm painting with black, I'm going to start hiding. I'm going to start hiding the image. And if you notice on the layer mask, you'll see a black line. Anything that's black will be hidden. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to very roughly kind of trace around the painted part, the inner cream colored painted part of the gas tank. Okay, so you can see as I'm painting with the black, I'm hiding the image, and you can see on the layer mask over here that the white is being shown and the black is not. All right, again, it's tough if you're just learning Photoshop. You have to get used to that concept, but let me just continue here. So I'm basically painting on the layer mask. The image never gets touched. It's always available. So you can see that I'm hiding some of the image. So I have basically what I need, but if you look over here on the lower right especially, I kind of didn't do a good job with my painting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip my color back to white. Now remember, white will show the image. So what I want to do is I want to bring back some of that image. So I'm going to paint the layer mask in white, and you could see the image starts to come back. Okay, so I'm just going to take a minute to do this. I may have to do some cleanup by switching back and forth between the black and the white brush. And you can see here I am with the black again, and I want to make sure that I'm showing this gold band that's around the cream colored part of the tank. So let me go over here to the right side. I'll go a little bit quicker. This is a demo, so I'm not going to be perfect, but I'm just going to go around, paint with the white now, because I want to bring the image back. So let me go do that. I'll make the brush just a little bit bigger. I'm using a soft brush. What do I mean by a soft brush? It doesn't have a very hard edge to it, so I don't have to be overly perfect when I'm trying to get close to this gold band. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna just clean up over here just a little bit, and then we'll zoom out to take another look of what it looks like. So here we go. So what I did was I overlaid that grid of the Indian headdress logos, and then I just kind of hid the items that I didn't want to show on the tank. Okay, so it gives the effect that this was painted right on that cream surface. Okay, so this is really not the true color that we're looking for. If you remember, the cream color is a little bit lighter. I'm hiding the layer right now. Cream color was a little bit lighter. This is a little bit harsh. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over to the layer, and there's an option for opacity, basically how much of the image do I want to show. And I'm just going to lower that opacity. And as I lower the opacity, see how the whole image gets a little bit lighter. Okay, so that I've lowered it from 100% to 55%, and that kind of is the look that we want. Okay, so that's the background color. Let me just remind everybody what we're after here. So I've done this part, and now I'm going to put the actual logo on. So I just noticed that when I went back to the final image, that this is a little darker than I would like. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to lower the opacity even further. I'm going to go all the way down to about 15 or 16%. Let's go down to 16%. And that actually gives us a much better look. Okay. All right. So let's kind of do what we did earlier with the grid image. Let's go grab the logo, the club logo. So I'm gonna do edit, copy merged. Okay, so I'm gonna copy this image, and I'm gonna paste it right inside the image that we're working on. So I'm gonna put it over here in the corner. That's kind of where we want it. I'm gonna adjust the size a little. And then now we could, once we get the size adjusted, now we could kind of play around with it a little bit. And what do I mean by play around? Basically, I'm going to warp the image or skew it or change the perspective just to give it a different look. So I'm going to pick one of these transformation tools here at random. Let's try warp. So I'm just going to kind of change the shape a little bit of the logo. Okay, and again, if you don't like what you see, you could always back it up and try it again. So yeah, that looks pretty good. Let's try another one here. Why don't we let's see what skew does. We'll change the skew. There we go. We could just move it around just a little bit, change the angle if we wanted. All right, move it around. All right, do that. We could even go in again, try distort. Let's see if we can just really change the shape a little bit. And again, it's really to taste what you want to do here. You could even just have left it straight also. You know, we didn't have to make a switch. All right, so that looks pretty good, but I think we have to change the size a little to make it fit within the cream colored section here. So let's do that. We'll put that over here. I'll leave it there. I'll click OK. Now we'll add some effects to that. Okay. So what we're going to do is I'm going to add a drop shadow first to it. So I'll hit a drop shadow, and you see a drop shadow drops right in there. I'll also I'll put a little stroke, a little outline around it. I'll just click on the stroke option. You can see I put a little stroke around it, and then I'm just going to put a little inner shadow. If you notice when I did that, I'll take it off and do it again. You just got a little darker, just a little more detail there. And then I'll put something on the outside, right around the outside. It's called an outer glow. I'm just going to click on the outer glow, and you can see I just put a little bit of a kind of like a secondary shadow around the entire image. And then I'm going to finish it off with changing the pattern that is on top of the logo. And you can see it kind of gives it a different look. Now, the look that we're trying to get to is something like this, okay? And if you notice, just like we did with the background paint here, we lowered the opacity to make it not stand out as much, or make it blend better with the color combination of the cream and the green. So I'm going to do the same thing here with the logo. So I'm going to go back to the logo, and even though this looks pretty good as it is, it kind of doesn't really match the paint so much. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lower the opacity on this. So I'm just going to lower the opacity, maybe make it around, let's go to like 55, all right, 55%. All right, and we'll keep it there. I'll back off a little bit. Now you can see how it looks. So again, we're trying to simulate someone doing an airbrush job on this tank, putting these logos in there, and then putting this club logo in there too. So here's what we were looking to do, and here's what we actually did. So that's how I did it, and hope you got something out of this. Thank you.